around
Mm-hmm.
the extreme of either uh, shielding them as a way of protection
Mm-hmm.
or hyper exposure as a way of protection. It's like building the antibodies, so to speak, of saying
Yeah.
if the world is filled of quote unquote jerks, then if you take away all the jerks, then they won't be able to deal with the world, right? How do you how do you manage it from based from your faith? How do you navigate that
Mm-hmm.
reality where there's the group of when they're thinking about their children, how do we prepare them? Some people just like, I don't like this idea that you eliminate everything. This is not realistic. People have to deal with the bullying. People have to deal with that. And then versus the
Yeah.
extreme, like how do you think about that given your programming?
To be honest with you, with ODE, we are very open. I keep the truth always at the center, like I said. We want to make sure that when our girls come on board, when they're in our membership, that they understand that we're going to go through the online networking process with them, like the networking process, either how you message people, either on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. I want to be as transparent as possible. And I am because I tell them my experience when the occasion calls for it, how I've seen or how the internet or social media, Instagram has affected me. But at the same time, I don't encourage shielding people so much because in the end, if you don't tell them the truth, they will find out from somebody else.
Mm,
Now, you got to think about this for a
mm,
second. For me, as a person, I would rather people in my family, in my network that I trust, my confidant, my network, to tell me if there is something going on in the world that I should be aware of,
mm,
rather than going outside to hear it from people that I don't know. And then that's where confusion comes in, right? Because then you're now thinking, whose words am I going to take? Because by the time that word comes back to you, they've already processed that external factors news,
mm,
and they're probably putting it on a higher platter, and we're just there like, okay, now how do you now fix this story for them?
mm,
So I tell them, be very careful when whatever you post online, just know that it is there for a long time, if not forever. Be cautious. If you don't want to share things that you think are very deep and personal, do not share them, because don't do it because of likes, because we're going to show you sympathy, but say it because you want to impact someone with that story.
mm,
Again, be very cautious not to follow the trends or people that you consider role models. If they're asking you to post naked pictures on your page, for example, don't do the same thing that they're doing. Do what feels right to you. Now, at the same time, if you have your mentor, talk that over with your mentor, talk that over with your coach. And for those who don't have like a stable home, for example, that's where a mentor comes in and really kind of walk that process with them,
mm,
right? And we guide them and make sure that they don't fall into the wrong hands. And for those who do have parents at home that can support them and really understand and direct them in a proper way, they can have this conversation. We encourage them to have this conversation with their parents, like what is working for them,
mm,
what is causing them to low self-esteem, what are they seeing that is actually making them struggle with their identity and feel like they have to fit into this new society norm in order for their friends to see them as acceptable and like them or follow them and so on.
mm,
These are the things I tell my sister, and she's smart. I don't need to tell her this because sometimes I think I parent her too much because it's just a reflex now. I've been doing it my whole life, and now I'm learning to not be her sister because she's 19, but I see how responsible she is online.
mm,
If not, she's teaching me how to be attentive, how to even navigate Instagram. But we teach our girls the same way I want to teach myself. Just be vigilant. Not everything you see you have to take to heart. Not everything you see has to be acceptable. If you actually have a doubt, then question it.
mm,
Deeper. Do your research. Come and ask us questions. Let us know a coach, a mentor, someone that can help you. And of course, we also have psychotherapists, meditation coach, yoga instructors, Pilates instructors that we bring in every single few months to do a session of healing for our girls and for our women, because we want to make sure that even if there are things that you can't tell your parents at home because you don't have that tight knit relationship, because not everybody do, but we're here. We're here to support you. And if it is something that is life and death, then we'll bring in the expert and make sure that you are well protected and you are well supported and you have the right people around you.
mm.
Because social media is forever changing. I don't want to add to the problem. I want to be part of the solution. And that's what ODIHI is about. We don't have all the answers, but what we do have is an amazing team that are dedicated to seeing more Black girls and women, when they are online or offline, that they are thriving and they know who they are. under God's eyes, under their own eyes, and they know their identity and they have confidence to be able to chase after whatever it is that God has placed in their hearts. That's our job. That is my job, to lead a team to understand that this is our first rule of business. Because this legacy isn't mine alone. It's for all of us to take a place in ODIHI and create it and make it perfect for every girl, every woman that walks through the door.